So today we are doing a deep dive into a source that uh, really tries to bridge these huge theological concepts, omniscience and omnipresence, with just daily life.
Exactly. It's about taking them from the abstract and making them feel real.
Right.
And what's so interesting is how it starts. It brings up that line from the Psalms, about those who deny God. But it doesn't frame it as an intellectual mistake. It calls it a tragedy of the heart.
A separation, not a factual error.
Precisely. So our mission here, really, is to unpack what it feels like to live with that constant presence, according to this very personal source.
And the thing that jumped out at me right away was how it completely dismisses the idea that God is hard to reach.
It does. It just throws that whole struggle narrative out the window.
So let's start there with this effortless accessibility. The source is so specific, saying you do not need to search across oceans or climb mountains.
Like gets rid of all those physical or, ritualistic hoops that we think we have to jump through.
No sacred appointments, special rituals, or perfect words. It suggests the line is just open.
That immediacy is everything. The whole point is that the divine is already near and attentive. So communion isn't some complex act. It's just,
Turn of the heart.
that's it. Turn your heart toward you and speak. It really boils devotion down to simple intention.
Okay, so if the communication is that barrier-free, it puts the focus on something else. It puts it on honesty, which brings us to the comfort of omniscience.
Right.
The source defines it as knowing thoughts before I think them, my fears before I name them.
My weaknesses before I confess them. And that's the key. In human relationships, being known that well can be terrifying. You feel exposed.
Absolutely.
But here, that total knowledge is presented as freedom. It removes any need for pretense. You don't have to put on a brave face.
You don't have to manage the relationship.
No, you're just welcomed. Listened to with perfect attention and unwavering love, even when, the rest of the world just doesn't get it.
That's a kind of psychological safety. And it feels like that security would naturally extend to your physical space, which leads right into the idea of omnipresence.
The idea that there's no place I can go where you are not already there.
So how does that help with something like, say, anxiety?
Well, the source frames it as the ultimate rest. We're always looking for a stable foundation, right? In our jobs, our lives.
It's kind of anchor.
This presence is that anchor. It's there in moments of joy, but also in sorrow. It's there in the quiet of the morning and in the middle of a chaotic, noisy day.
So you're never really alone in what you're facing. I love that phrase from the source, that this presence turns ordinary spaces into holy ground.
Yes, it means your messy desk can be just as much a sacred space as a cathedral.
And it's not a static presence either. The source is very clear. This isn't just a memory of the past or a concept preserved in ancient words.
No, it's alive, it's active now, speaking through scripture, the spirit, and what it calls gentle movements of grace.
So what does that look like in practice, these gentle movements?
I think it's guidance, but a specific kind of guidance. It's firm, loving, and full of truth. It's not harsh or condemning. It's that subtle nudge that steers you away from anxiety or pride.
And living that out becomes a kind of quiet testimony.
That's the goal, to let that inner awareness of nearness show up in how you trust and how you walk through your day.
So when we pull it all together, this source is telling us that the chance to speak and be heard, to be fully known and loved, it isn't something you earn,
No, it's just grace beyond measure,
a profound privilege.
which leaves us with a final thought for you to carry with you. If this perfect, knowing, ever-present love is already here, fully attentive to you, then what does it mean for your heart to finally find its true home?